Why do our people, not our people now, why do some of our people will sell us out with just $500 or $1,000? The second one is, why do these political miscreants drag the palace at all times in order to prove their useless political point? Their useless political point. Why? Why? Why do these children of nowadays, who do not rest, when you have respect for your own father, you can't disrespect the palace? I don't understand what is wrong with these caricature politicians. They have been doing it for the past 2 years. Why do they always drag the palace into their nonsense politics? So we have to speak on it. And I want to implore other people to also speak on the matter. The palace has no whatsoever interest in the politics of Edo State or in the politics of Nigeria. They only have interest of how these politicians can be of magnificent or positive relevance to his people, to his land, and the nation generally. And the third one is, why do people keep creating groups and all of that? It's fucking annoying. No, like I've said, anyway, let me just talk about it in passing. So in all of this, you can call through this platform so that you can make your own contributions, and so you can make it as lively as possible, but do ensure that you share brokers so that other people can get to participate in our program. Participate in our program. Okay. Now, first and foremost, I have made observations about the frequency of how people, what opened my eyes to see what is going on in Benin Kingdom was last year. I saw first class of how our people can deny their own heritage because of stipends, Nedute Lalobo. I didn't want to speak on the matter until recently, when I had to comment on my former friend, Benin Obas, Nebo TV. That prompted why I wanted to speak on this matter. Often at times, people come out and say that they're projecting Benin heritage. They come out and say that they love Benin Kingdom. They come out and say that Benin Kingdom is their pride. But in reality, with just $500 or $1,000, they will gladly sell off or sell out Benin interest. During the artifacts crisis, during the Benin artifact crisis, that is when I actually knew our people and their self-centeredness. A lot of them kept mute, knowing fully well that the artifact in question belongs to the Oba of Benin and only Oba of Benin alone. It is his exquisite right to give that right of ownership to whoever he so desires. But our people, the so-called people, the so-called presenters, a lot of them kept mute on the matter. Because it was against their interest, or it was against what some of them were being paid for. You can't say you are for Benin Kingdom when there's a great injustice. This is not about being right or being wrong. This is about being factual. Let any of them come and prove that the ownership of those artifacts was not to the Oba of Benin. They knew the truth was there, it was glaring. They kept mute. They never spoke about it. They never criticized the governor for trying to take what does not belong to him, either by whatever ideas or whatever means. They never came out. They never spoke it. I carefully observed. I saw those who were very diplomatic in their speech because they could not insult in their usual bravado the palace. They did not have facts to prove that it was not, that the step currently taken by their boss is wrong or was not correct. They instead kept mute. Some kept mute, knowing fully well that the issues on ground was very clear. The artifacts in question belong to the Oba of Benin. They all kept mute. They all kept mute. They are still mute on the matter today. Only for them to do a 360-degree to start saying that Benin Kingdom is their heritage. How can Benin Kingdom in their heritage when the citadel of that heritage that you come out at all times to speak very good about, you could not defend it because it was against the interests of the governor? I don't know how some people could be so stupid and very myopic not to understand that how can you support a fledgling institution like a governmental institution over an institution that has survived for 2058 years. I don't know how people get to think that you get to support an institution over an institution that has survived over 2,000 years, over an institution that will continue to survive as far the world still exists. You disregard this ancient institution for a fledgling institution, an institution that does not grow beyond 8 years at best. It was so much bitter pill for me to swallow, like in my usual beliefs I do not have any issue against people for believing in the way that they believe. If you have a particular ideology that is different from mine, I will never tell you that that ideology is wrong. What I will do, I will avoid you. So I have been avoiding a lot of these people. A lot of them. Frankly speaking, I've been avoiding a lot of them. Because I cannot sit back and be happy with the people who so, at the time when the kingdom needed them most, turned their back on the kingdom because it was inconvenient for them. Because it was inconvenient for their pocket. I cannot be seen laughing with people who turned their back on the kingdom at the time the kingdom wanted them. When God and our ancestors give you a role, give you a position, it's always for the future of the kingdom. I've always said that I always believe it's a privilege that I am Izoduwa that I am today. And when there is a need for us, for me, to fight for the kingdom, I will fight for the kingdom. I will fight for the kingdom. As a man, I have never demanded anything. I have never, I keep saying it all the time. I have never been to any politician's house for the past 6 years. I do not go. I do not frolic with them. The reason is very simple. They are selfish. They are self-centered. They don't believe in the selflessness of Benin Kingdom. So I do not go to them. I do not seek for their approvals. I do not seek for their interest. I do not seek for anything. Just a few days ago, I went to deliver a lecture at Edo State Ministry of Art and Culture. I came, I met with the commissioner, the honorable commissioner. I greeted him. When I was done, I left. I walked out. It was when I was almost leaving the venue that I was told that, would I just be leaving without greeting the commissioner? It is the commissioner. This is not pride. I'm just trying to tell you the kind of a person I am. It is the commissioner that came to meet with me and said that he will shall keep in contact with me. If he doesn't call me, I won't call him. I don't have, Izoduwa does not have interest in politicians or political interest. If I'm called tomorrow to come and deliver a lecture for free, I will. But say I will not call that I need something. No, it's not possible, because you know why? I have an interest in protecting the cultural heritage, the interest of the palace, the interest of Benin Kingdom. That deters me from getting close to any politician, because that is who they are. At every instances, they will always want to use their interest to surmount the general interest of Benin Kingdom. So I stay clear from all of them. And that has kept my sanity. For those who are frolicking with them, the message I have for you today is that I'm not saying anybody shouldn't be a friend to politicians. But what is desired of a Benin man, a Benin woman, at the times of triad, during the times where we had issues about the artifact, who would the artifact go to, is for you to come out and speak the truth. It's for you to come out and speak the truth. The truth was what built the Benin Kingdom of old. Men took pride in standing for the truth, in defending the truth. But people are now more interested in defending their pockets. That is why when people say I brag a lot, I brag because I do not yield, I do not concede, I'm not within the cascades of temptation. So when you don't go close to the people that you know that can badly influence you in thinking the way you are supposed to think, you don't get to be influenced negatively. It is just, you cannot, there's a common saying that if you want to eat with the devil, use a long spoon. But there's another common saying, don't eat with the devil at all. Don't eat with the devil at all. So I do not believe in that parable that says that if you want to be a devil, use a long spoon. No! Izoduwa said, don't eat at all. Where did they any? Long spoon. Don't think. In thereby you keep your sanity. You speak with authority because you don't have anybody that has placed you in their pockets. That is the truth. If people don't take care, if someone at one point of time has not bribed you, has not given you money, has not given you one particular money to do what you're supposed to do, he or she cannot also not decide to you how to think and know what to think. That's why when issues like this comes out, we just come out and speak the truth. And avoid those corruptible individuals that we feel can corrupt our sanity. That is what has kept me clean. I do not create an avenue where my mind will be corrupted. So I think straight. And like I always say, I'm always in the best position to speak on matter because I have maintained neutrality in both sides, to the palace and to any other person. Because people will not understand. People will not understand when I say I maintain the neutrality to the palace. I maintain the neutrality. I've kept a very miserable distance from the palace. I have my reasons. So that people don't say that I defend the palace all the time because no. I like to always let people know that whatever I do or say is out of my own free will. Not because I was given a particular amount of money or I'm eating from a particular institution. That's what I'm defending it. I defend the Benin institution because I am convinced, because that is my institution that directly over the years, hundreds of years, thousands of years, has represented my interest as an Edoma all throughout these years. So what pisses me off, I'm not talking about, I'm speaking on this matter because what pisses me off is that you cannot come out and say that you are defending the Benin institution or you are promoting Benin cultural heritage only for you to keep mute because on a particular matter that is bent on humiliating the Benin cultural heritage, only for you to keep mute because it does not favor you, because probably someone has given you something someone has bribed you or given you something. It does not tell well. It does not tell well. It does not tell well on us. I always say that no matter how much you think, whether more or less of the palace, always know that it's an institution that have meant very well for the Edo people over the years. And we as Edo people must do so much within the purview of our strength to protect that institution. And I cannot sacrifice that institution for a 8 years institution. I cannot sacrifice a permanent ideology for a temporary one, which is at best 8 years. No governor can rule beyond 8 years. Then why will I support an institution that does not grow beyond 8 years for an institution that is over 2,000 years? It just doesn't make sense. It's shallow, it's selfish. It's the height of being selfish. And that's why I'm speaking on the matter today. So those who support politicians or governments over the palace of the Oba of Benin are either very myopic in their thought, very stupid, they don't have foresight. So that's what I want to speak on this matter. If you think you are if you are a presenter promoting Benin cultural heritage, and when there is a clash of interest between those who think who owns the power, the government, and the heritage you have been defending for years, and you now decide to be mute and neutral because you don't want to offend the government, then the government. I'm your donor, I'm your banner, I'm your gisone, I'm your government. Then the government. The Benins have existed with their Oba thousands of years before the creation of government, colonial creation of government. Then you think, as an Edoma, that I will not sacrifice that institution that has been part of my generations for years because of the colonial forced government on our land and our people. And I always try to make people understand, those people who keeps on clamoring for government brings modernity, governance brings development, then I challenge it. I challenge them. Let us do a physical visibility of development of post-colonial Benin and pre-colonial Benin and actually see the Benin that is greater. In other words, let's look at the Benin where the Oba of Benin was in control politically and traditionally, and let's look at the Benin where these state governments are now in control, and let's see which one is greater. Let anybody take me on that debate. Let anybody tell me, you know what? Not what a lot of them do say that Oba of Benin of the old had power over life and death, that nobody was able to question him. That unlike in the democratic time where the voice of the people is the voice of whatever, I don't know how they call it, but I told them that it therefore means that you have not understood the details of Benin. The Benin organization is almost near perfect. Who said that the Obas of Benin of the old weren't challenged? Who said some powers of the Obas of Benin of the old weren't checked? Who said that the Oba of Benin had a unilateral decision-making system? He had councils of elders. What? Just like what the president, before the president of the nation takes, the president of Nigeria takes economic decisions, he had government in councils, which includes all of the governors, the ministers and all of that, and special advisors and all of that. The Oba of Benin had the same. That is what we call the Jaime. The government in council. The issues bordering on the kingdom were decided not unilateral by the Oba of Benin. He had his own councils that he takes advices from. He has his own council that he must consult. So we had a kind of a government that is more perfect than democracy. The people had voices. You said Iyase Oredoya. Iyase is the representative. It's like the representative of the people. Iyase was chosen to be the mouthpiece of the people in the presence of the Oba of Benin. Everybody can speak for the Edo people. So Iyase as a title was created to speak on behalf of the Edo people. when there is an injustice done to the Edo people, probably from the throne. It's the asset that says that Omonoba Atokbe, if you were he presents the matter. And the tradition empowers that should, in case there is an outrage between the Oba and the Edo people, the ear says compelled to choose the Edo people over the Oba. That is a system that I've understood, even democracy, that the modern day system. So I don't know how to talk sense into these people so that they can have sense. So it's the same institution that you chose to belittle because someone has given you 100,000 or because someone has given you 200,000. Well, I say this categorically. I want to be very clear. If you cannot stand for the kingdom at its lowest time, you are not fit to be called a Benin man or a Benin woman. You are not. If you cannot stand for your land, for your Oba, at the trying times, knowing fully well that your Oba is right. It's not as if he's wrong. He's right. He's fighting for his rights. This is my artifact, stolen from my father. Return it to me. That is not too much to ask. And you are a Benin presenter. You choose to remain neutral. You choose to remain mute, knowing fully well that what belongs to your father was being taken, what all was being conceived to be taken. You don't deserve to be a Benin presenter if you cannot defend the interests of your palace when your palace is right. I keep saying when the palace is right. I'm saying that should, in case in the future the palace is wrong, I'm not saying you should defend. The concept of Edo is built on truth. We must maintain that truth, whether it's against or not against the palace. We must maintain the truth. In this case, the palace is in truth. Return my stuff. The other one said, no, it has to come to me. Then you stay mute. The least that is expected is for you to come out using the same platform that you built through the so-called I'm a proud Benin son and daughter. When the time came for you to use that same platform to speak, to support the heritage that deceptively over the years you've been using to probably enrich yourself, you could not use that same platform to defend the interest of the kingdom and the palace. Then you now ask me, Izoduwa, to pick your call, to speak to you. Oh, Awano. Can't. I saw those who didn't defend the palace during that crisis. I'm not saying it's over. It's not over. For what I know about that guy, it's not over. He doesn't fight to lose. He fights to finish. And you kept mute. Then you've lost your relevance in the eyes of God and in the eyes of our ancestors. In the eyes of God and our ancestors. Then you're not supposed to be defending or talking about Benin heritage or Edo heritage. Because how do you say you are a Benin man or a Benin woman when the time when your Benin faith is being tested and you run away? Wo oye sese eso hin okoriri una ale o una le. Why oye sese ese eh? I will call ya igba manogile wegbe. Is it not during crisis that you know those that really mean well for the land and not? If you didn't mean well during the crisis, do you not think when all the things are not good and rosy that the Benin people now should not think well of you? I've always told you people that look at all of those presenters that are doing Edo Cultural. If anyone did not speak against the governor during the time of the artifact, they don't deserve to be respected. They don't deserve to be respected. I've said what I have said. I've said what I have said. I've said what I have said.